All right. Welcome, everyone. Peace be with you. Peace be with all of us. We are happy to share another transmission with you, which we are about to dive into, relating to the divine feminine energy, and also to what is the wounding in this divine feminine energy. And maybe if we are ever so lucky, that we'll even get a healing impulse on that wounding and how both can be connected at the same time. We are about to enter a collective soul retrieval on feminine energy. So where is it in the world or in the collective that this energy is blocked, that it's not flowing freely? Where is it distorted? And what healing impulse can we create within that field in ourselves and through ourselves in the collective? Yeah. So from that said, just to dive straight into it, like, Ward, can you share a little bit from your own transmission, like, hey, what is the divine feminine energy for you? How does it express itself?
Yeah, so then I just like the words already. Let's just dive in, right? Because uh, that's the easiest, I think, to literally to look at the divine feminine as a very large pool of infinite possibilities. It's just it's literally like life started on this planet, right? The mainstream idea or images that we have that life came out of water, right? So it developed in the water till little animals started coming onto the land.
Mm.
So for me, the feminine principle is like an infinite pool of water with infinite possibilities, infinite possible life coming out of it,
Mm.
just like we evolved on the planet. And yeah, it's a bit funny to give a transmission around that as two men, right? Um, but yeah, I just want to share these images then that I shared with you before. Just it's like the divine masculine is like this person who has a torch in the
Mm.
dark, in the dark cave, right? It's bringing structure, bringing something up from the dark, lighting a fire somewhere, lighting something up so that you can see what's there. And the divine feminine can be this, yeah, I really don't know how else this to I don't have any other words right now. Just this infinite pool of possibilities.
Mm.
You can almost feel it, which is why it's so difficult to then come back into structure, like, oh, this is it. I can't say this is the divine feminine because it's so large, literally everything.
Yeah. Mm.
um,
Yeah, and
yeah.
just to add my own words to that, uh, as in that pool, when it is truly in the divine feminine, it is so nice to drown in it, to
Mm,
really be enveloped by that whole feminine essence that as a man, it can be felt all around you and inside of you. And you can suddenly feel the color of life returning back. And I feel like that is the quality of women who embody the divine feminine energy,
mm,
that they reanimate. Where life has gone away, they enter the space and they allow whatever has died to be brought back to life,
yeah,
to really be restored to its true nature by being themselves, by loving and holding also that frequency of sensuality and sexuality, which can be deeply enlivening since it's just so filled with life force. Mm.
yeah, the creative womb in that sense, right? Of the feminine.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm. Yeah, truly, the women are the master creators of this world.
yeah,
They create life. We as men, we cannot do that. We
no,
offer the impulse, we offer the light frequency, from which the whole body of the woman nurtures that frequency, carries it, loves it. And with blood, sweat, and tears, the baby is born eventually.
Mm.
Mhm. And there's such a deep primal power in the divine feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Something in me is still looking for, something more need to be shared around what the divine feminine is. And
Mm.
but I feel like that the things we just said capture the essence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to add the archetype of the great mother who's always there, ever so loving. You can do absolutely nothing wrong in her eyes. When a woman is so embodied in that frequency, it's just a heart wide open, and any person that comes into relation with that woman, they just melt away. Mm.
And I would say that's also possible as a man
Mm.
to be in that frequency.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just not to make it
Mm.
something of the
Yeah.
sexes.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. So can you shine a little light on, like, hey, what is the wounded feminine or the dark feminine energies?
the wounded feminine would express pathologically, in that sense, as psychosis, where there is no more I, but it's all one. The weight of the world is on me, the suffering of the world is on me. I am the suffering of the world. It's melancholia.
Mm.
Right? My fear is in the world. It's not my fear, it's fear, it's paranoia, right? It's just this field of absolute oneness and darkness. There's no person with a torch anymore
Mm.
lighting up the dark. Um, there's no evolution anymore in the animals coming out of the sea, right? It's just unbridled. So everything just comes out, and there's no sense of I in it left, of
Mm.
identity. So I think that the wounded feminine in that sense, insofar that throughout the last millennia it has been suppressed in everyone, and of course in actual physical women then most of all, but in
Mm.
men as well, the principle, divine feminine, this creation, spontaneous creation, insight, intuition, something just comes up spontaneously. As it's been repressed,
Mm.
I think that, then you start seeing these patterns that we were speaking about before.
You mean uh, with how there has been such a suppression that the divine quality of the feminine was not allowed to be there?
Yeah,
And the question in me arises, like, how has it then come distorted so that the essence of feminine energy still is moving through? Like, what are the ways in which women have, or men, or the energy is expressing itself in the world,
yeah.
with which is not honoring the divine quality, but it is a wounded aspect of a divine quality?
So if we look at the way, like you were saying before, that the feminine can show itself in its wounded form as manipulation,
Mhm.
charming, seducing in a sense, and men can do that as well. And the feminine, the masculine also has a sort of seduction, but
Mhm.
the feminine also, um, and I was just trying to tie in, like, oh, how is this wounding of being repressed, how does that lead to, for example, manipulation?
Mhm.
What is it that it's, what is it looking for?
Mhm.
Um,
For me, it just feels safety.
Yeah.
That, as I said before, like when we were just talking with the two of us, how for millennia it has been so safe for women, so safe, so unsafe for
Yeah.
women.
So
It's nice to really reiterate that the unsafety that is present in the system of the collective woman, and how through so much unsafety, how a man could just walk up to a woman, take whatever he would like, because they would have no way to defend themselves in times when we were less civilized. How they needed to get these qualities of manipulation and seduction so that the men would be safer, that they could control them in a way. And then what is their expression? It is in manipulating and seducing, or either making the men smaller and feel inferior, devaluing the man, that the women can come back on top, and that an order of safety is returned in their own system.
yes, and I feel like we're still being very concrete about men and women, actual physical men and women, and the interactions between them. And I just want to move the focus back on the qualities, the energies of masculine and feminine. Because even in us as men, we will also feel this imbalance,
Mhm.
right? So, and then perhaps we're back at this kind of, the divine feminine would be this immense source of nurturing creative energy.
Mhm.
It's the mother um, who cares for her child, right? It cries and then she keeps on going, finding out what's wrong, what do you need, what do you feel, what can I do, right? She keeps nurturing you. She keeps on providing that base out of which you can keep living, right? But what the divine, or what the wounded masculine does, I would say, is create too much structure and too much individuality. So we're being asked, even at a very young age, maybe even in the womb still, or before we actually incarnate, but then also just after, we're being asked to be individuals and to take care of ourselves before we can, right? That's in all of us. We're being told that there is no source of nurturing, there is no source of great inspiration. Well, in a sense, the other becomes that source, but only, we're speaking, I think, about the oral wound in a way, and I think we could look at all the woundings from looking at the divine, looking from the masculine and feminine sides, but the oral one is where you learn that what you ask, um, like a baby's cry, is not answered, and so that you'll have to start attaining it in different ways. Mom doesn't come if I cry. Well, if I laugh, she comes. Okay. If I make her feel guilty about something, oh, she does give me what I need, and there I can feel the manipulation coming forth in each and every one of us, not just in women and in men, but in every one, in every person in that sense.
How can I get that which I desire without having to ask for it? Because that is dangerous.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And just to add to that frequency as well, for me, the wounded female energy also expresses itself in caring too much, moving out of center or base and sacrificing its own body or integrity,
Yeah.
love, and well-being in order to serve another. And I think that is so prevalent nowadays, how incredibly difficult that is.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the antithesis to too much structure, boundlessness. Not boundlessness, boundarylessness. Something
Yeah.
like that sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what a healing impulse could be for all of these woundings and how the wounded feminine could be a little bit more restored and
Mm.
more seen who she truly is?
First thing that pops up to me is just stillness.
Mm.
It's this the polarity between doing, the masculine, and being, the feminine, right? It's can she just be left alone? Right? Can this energy, can we be so at peace in ourselves, so restful in ourselves,
Mm.
so not having to do something, that we actually allow the spontaneous source of life to spring up and bubble in us and inspire us, that suddenly we can move in a different direction, that we have a thought we've never had before, that we let ourselves be surprised, that we assume, like in science, that we don't know everything, right? We don't know how the world works. Life is a mystery. That's the divine feminine. It's the mystery.
Yeah. And just to add to that, can we really allow ourselves to enter that silence and gather in communities so that we can be together, that we can play, that we can have fun, that we can enjoy life?
Mhm.
We can be honest with one another. Whatever is happening in our system, can we really express that without having to judge it?
Yeah.
That it is held in a bigger container than just yourself. There are more people or beings present who love you for wherever you are and honor your mystery. Yeah.
Take this too far.
So if you're watching this now and you're feeling your resonance in the field of the divine feminine energy, that you may have some, of your own wounding, that you feel like, that is resonating in my system. I have that too, because we all have these wounds. No one is exempt of them, unfortunately. Then we invite you to watch our collective soul retrieval on the divine feminine energy. And we are very curious to see what may arise in you and what will arise from our own fountain when we are tuning into that. So, with that said, we hope you enjoyed to see you at our lovely soul retreat. Oh.
Oh.
Hmm.